Hey guys, it's Carolyn. This is the second time I'm shooting this video, so I'm trying to make it quicker. Clearly last time I was just talking too much. But, I have finally made, a couple book jars. Because I think a lot of people have been doing that recently, or at least a lot of the booktubers I watch. So I got really bored the other night and I decided to do it. Because it sounded so fun. And so I actually have two because I had so many books, and it's my Honeydukes jar and my You Know Pooh jar, which are both candy jars from the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. This one came with lemon drops, or sherbet lemons as Dumbledore calls them, and this one came with the You Know Pooh candy, but really they were green M&Ms. Or not actually M&Ms, they were like the off-brand, but they were both very delicious. But yeah, these were just sitting on my dresser with nothing, no purpose, and so I was like, oh, I'll make book jars out of both of them. And I have rules for my book jars, though, that are a little bit different from the rules that other people have been giving themselves. First, I'm definitely going to start with this one, because this is the bigger jar, and if I get through this jar before I get through that one, I'll just feel way more accomplished. And also, the thing about the book jar is that the rules about the book jar are, the first one is, a lot of people are saying, I'm going to go to my book jar once a month and pick out a book, a random book that I want to read. I don't want to do it like that, because if I have a set list of books that I want to read in a month, I really do not want to then go pick out a random book from the jar, because then it's like, I feel like I'm not going to feel like reading it, and that's... So, basically, my rule about the book jar is that I'm only going to go to the book jar if I have absolutely nothing that I feel like reading, where it's like, I don't really know what genre I want to read or anything, so I'll be doing that. And, I had some other rules. The thing about the books that are in the book jar are, I have a list in my book journal of all the books that I own that I haven't read. And what I did is, I only put, the ones in here that are not sequels, because a lot of the sequels that I own, I really need to go back and reread the books, the first couple books in the series. So, what I've done there is, instead of saying, like, oh, Something Rotten by Jasper Fforde, which is the fourth book in the Thursday Next series, I've put The Air Affair by Jasper Fforde, because that's the first book, and I need to reread that before I read Something Rotten. So I've done that with all of the first books in the series where I need to start the series over. So I've done, like, Looking Glass Wars, Outlander, Air Affair, books like that, Great and Terrible Beauty. So, yeah. And then, also, I haven't put any books in it that I want to read this year, because I already have the books in my head that I want to read for the rest of the year, so there's not really any point in putting them in the book jar. And I have also not put any of my really, really old books in there, like, Lady of the Lake by Sir Walter Scott, and, what was the other one? Like The Princess by Tennyson. Several of those types of books that I own are incredibly old. Like, both of those that I just mentioned are probably 100 years old. And so I'm just terrified to read those, and those are honestly probably going to be, like, just books that look good on my shelf, and then if I really want to read the text of either of those, then I'll get, like, a cheap paperback copy that's not really old and fragile. So, yeah, those are the rules about what are in the book jar, is no sequels, no books from this year, and no really old books. But luckily, the really old books that I own that I haven't read are only, like, 5 or 10, so it's not quite that big a deal. So, yeah, it was a long explanation about the book jar. Sorry, but it was something that I thought would be really fun. And also, what I'm going to do is, if I buy any more books, that I just know I can't get to this year, then I'm just going to put them, like, add them to this one. And then also, if there's a book that I decide that I really want to read that's already in the book jar, I will read it, and then instead of going through and like trying to find it in the book jar and picking it out, I'll just, if I go to the book jar and dig in and pick out a book that I've already read, then I'll just be like, oh, well, I've already read this one, so toss that piece of paper aside and pick out another one, just because that's way easier. So yeah, sorry for the long book jar explanation, but I was just very excited to show you guys my little book jars, because it was just a really fun activity. And if you guys think that this is cool and you haven't made one, then go for it. I don't know who originally started the whole book jar idea, actually, because I've seen so many different videos of people who've done it. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Comment if you think this is cool or if you want to do one. And don't forget to subscribe. Thanks, guys. Bye.